Hi, hello everyone. This is the second screencast of the Meeting 3 review. I guess I may end up using more screencasts than I originally intended, but I'm going to try and keep them to 10 minutes. We're going to continue right where we left off, I/O in Java, and that includes scanner and imports and some other stuff like this. So if we take a look at the presentation, what is I/O? I/O stands for input-output, and it's basically how you interact with your program and how your program reports back to you. It's important for debugging because it allows you to see what's happening. If you don't know what the variables are at a certain point in the program, you just put in a print line statement, and it'll tell you. It'll print it out. So let's see. Oops. Yeah. So this is actually C++ code, but you can see cout, cin, cout, cin. Print this out, and then get an input, and print this out, get an input. System in Java, system out line will give us output, but how we input stuff? Well, we use a scanner object. And in more advanced applications, you can read and write to files or log files or stuff like that. So you don't even have to be inputting stuff or reading output. It'll just be dumped into a file so you can read later. So what is scanner? Scanner helps us do input in Java, and we need to import it after the package but before the class. So what does this mean? It's going to think, here's the package, here's the class, here's main where the magic happens, and we do stuff in main. But we're going to put it after the package but before the class. And we're going to say import java.util for utilities, capital S scanner, and then semicolon. And right now it's just giving me something saying unused import because I haven't made a scanner yet. But now we're going to go down to main. We're going to say capital S scanner. Let's call it input equals new capital S scanner, parentheses, capital S system dot in, and then we need a semicolon after that. And what this is doing, you'll notice that this looks very similar to a variable declaration. We have a variable of type scanner, and its name is input, and it is what is its value? Well, it's a new scanner, essentially. And this is input in this case is actually an object of the scanner class, and we'll get into that a little later. But right now, how do you use it? Well, let's take a look. We can go and we can say system.out, please input an integer, and we can say int I equals input dot next int, capital I int, and empty parentheses, and you say system.out.println I. And let's run this. Please input an integer. I'm going to click here. I'm going to say, let's do 4, and it outputs 4. Excellent. So that's how this works. Now, you might wonder, how the heck do I know about next int and all this stuff? And it's a good question. And the reason it's a good question is because you didn't write the scanner class. So you're actually using somebody else's code. And that's something that really makes Java and other programming languages powerful, which is a lot of people have already written what libraries and stuff that is useful that you want to use, and they've made it available for you to use by importing it. So you import scanner, you use scanner, but it's kind of hard to use without an instruction manual, say. So where's the instruction manual? Well, you go on the internet, and so you go on the internet and you search for javadoc 8, and the first thing that pops up is the API here, and this is all the stuff in Java that we can use. So we'll do a Control F scanner, and here we go. Here's scanner, and in scanner we scroll down to the method summary, and that will be all these things, and this is all the stuff you can do with scanner. So scanner dot next byte, next boolean, next double, next float, next int, next line. Let's say we wanted to find out, okay, next int. Scans the next token of input as an int, and it returns the int scan from the input. That's exactly what we want. So we go here, and it scans the next token as an int, and it returns an integer, and we're setting that integer, we're putting that integer value into, we're storing it into I here. Now, if I didn't have this int I just input that next int, it would work, it would scan it, and it would return it, but it wouldn't go anywhere. So we have to store it in int I equals that. So that's scanner, and let's see. So yeah, we talked about I/O scanner imports using other people's code. We talked about javadoc 8, and let's continue to calling methods. So the coding math exercises will be useful in practicing math and string methods, but we can talk about them. Let's see. Sorry for the skip there. So methods. Well, what are methods? We keep saying methods. Well, they're basically like functions in math. You can write your own methods, or you can use ones that have already been written by other people. For us, we're mainly going to use the ones that have already been written. Static methods are different than non-static methods. We're not going to really get into that, but that's a good thing to keep in the back of your head for a more advanced class. And we can take a look at some commonly used ones. So math methods. So math.pow. Power, it's an exponential thing. So what you can do is math.pow 2 comma 3, and I'll say, oh, 2 to the third power, or you can do 2 comma 0.5, and I'll give you the square root of 2, 2 to the 1/2 power. Math.absolute value, max, minimum, random, square root, sine, cosine, tangent. And you all, for most of these, you have to put stuff in the parentheses. You have to give the method something. So if I do math.max 3, 4, it's going to return 4 because it's going to take the maximum of the 2. But if I just do math.max, it's going to get mad at me because it doesn't know what to do. So with just like a function in math, you give it something, and you get something from it. It'll return something. So in string, string.to uppercase or to lowercase. In this one, we're not giving it anything because we're calling it from the string. I'll explain what I mean in a bit. But it is returning the string that moved to uppercase. So for example, if I go here and I get rid of this, string s equals hello, and I say s dot to uppercase, and then I say system dot out dot print line s. What do we think it's going to do? Well, it's not in uppercase, and the reason it's not in uppercase is because this, we called the method, it returns hello in uppercase, but we didn't store it anywhere. So we need to say s equals s dot to uppercase. So we store it back in the string s. Now when we run it, we'll get hello in uppercase. So that's the way that works. Now what if I wanted to say s dot char at, let's see, character c equals s dot char at 1. Now this is very interesting. We haven't talked about indices in the screencasts yet, but indices are very important. So indices, by the way, is the plural for index. And so imagine you have a box or a bunch of boxes all in a line. And here, we'll add one more. And we have HELLO, hello. And this is going to be index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And normally you count from 1. Well, in Java and in programming, we count from 0. So the first index is index 0, the second index is index 1, and 2, 3, 4, etc. So if I say string.char at 1, char at 1, it's going to say, what is the character at index 1? So here's index 1. What is this character? It's E. So that's going to return E. Return E. And so when we go back to the code, we're going to say, we're going to store that in C. So s.char at 1, hello, at index 0 and 1, index 1 is E, so we should see it print out E, and it does. You can say char at 0, and it prints out H. That's the first now. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is O. What if I said index 5? Well, it's going to give me a big error because index 5 doesn't exist. So that's the way that works. Another method is index of. S dot index of, and this needs to be an integer now, because index of returns an integer, and we're going to say e. This is going to say, what is the index of the first e in this string? Well, it's going to be index 0, 1, so it should return 1, and what do we know? We see 1. If I say L, it's going to be the first L. It's going to be 0, 1, 2. If I say O, we should see 4. Ta-da. So there's that. And, 10 minutes. So we've gone over some string methods and some math methods, and this is really good. So next we'll talk about this stuff in the next screencast.